All right, guys, thank you for hopping on tonight's team call. It is the 13th of June. I feel like June is flying by. Like, it's crazy to me that it's already the middle of the month. It's crazy. Summit is in 30 days, which is another big mind-blowing, whatever, event, I guess you could say. Tonight, I'm really excited. Tonight, Cindy Adkinson is going to be hosting about adaptability with growth and change and, sticking it out and being here the long haul. And, I love the fact that she's sharing on this topic because I feel like right now is the perfect season to talk about this with so many changes and things going on. One thing that I want you guys to know is remember to keep your blinders on. You guys all came into Beachbody for a reason, right? Whatever it is, there's no right or wrong reason. But you came into this company for a purpose, for a passion, for a reason. You have a why. Remember your why throughout your entire journey. Don't forget that why, because sometimes you may get derailed if you look at fancy things over here or you start getting discouraged or anything like that. That's why PD is so important. That's why leaning in on all these amazing women is important. All of that stuff is important. I just wanted to touch on that really quick, and then I'm going to let Cindy take over. But reminder, real quick, y'all know what happens next Monday, right? Shift Shop sneak peek. Y'all are gonna die, and I'm so excited to watch you. Kidding, not kidding, but I'm excited for you. So what I want you guys to do, I want you guys to all make sure, I don't care what program you're doing right now, make sure that you do a little bit at least of Shift Shop, not Shit Shop. Oh my God, don't tell Chris Downey. I forgot the F.
Welcome to Shit Shop. You're going to shit your pants. What are you doing? That's what's going to happen.
It is what it is. I mean, you take some Energize and you got to go. Make sure that you guys are showcasing it on and you're talking about it every day before that. So you get people signed up for the 14-day trial so they could check it out. If they're doing Sean Week right now, let them know about it next week or that it's next week and really make it a big deal on Monday when you're doing it. I'm super excited to have you guys try it out. Like I said, it's going to be the 25-minute one, but this one was my favorite. This is the one where I cried in because you guys know when you're doing the cardio movements, right? Maybe some of you guys are crazy and you actually like cardio, but when I'm doing cardio, like anytime I've done cardio besides Turbo Fire with Chalene Johnson, like I wanted to punch my TV. Like I wanted, no matter who was doing it, I wanted to punch my TV. But he's sitting there, like when you're burning, you're drenched in sweat's dripping in your eyes and your eyes are burning. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Your heart is pounding. It feels like you can't breathe. You know that moment when you want to stop? Well, then he sits there and he throws affirmations at you. I am powerful. I am amazing. I am unstoppable. And I'm like, yes. And this is why I'm so excited that he's doing Speed 25 or we're doing Speed 25 for the sneak peek. Because you guys are going to get the taste of the affirmations being thrown at you. And I may have some people on here that cry maybe too a little bit, just a little bit. I'm not saying, I'm just saying there may be some criers, but it's going to be awesome. You're never going to feel more alive than you will in this workout. So make sure you're talking about it. Make sure your coaches are talking about it. Make sure you're talking to your challengers about it. And with that said, Cindy Adkinson, take it away.
Hey, okay. Thank you. Thanks, Vicki. We're all excited to try your Shift Shop. Yes, Shift Shop. Don't say it too fast because you might say that to a customer and you don't want to do that. Okay, so for those of you guys that don't know me, I am Cindy Adkinson. I've been a coach for almost 5 years here with Vicki. She is my personally sponsored coach, or my upline. She's not my personally sponsored coach. That'd be awesome if you were, though. That's Lord. So I'm not just an entrepreneur with Beachbody, but for those of you guys that don't know more of my backstory, I've actually been an entrepreneur for quite a long time. I come from a family of entrepreneurs. I've actually been a small business accountant for 18 years. 18 years. That's a long time, y'all. Long time. So I've been a small business accountant and I've been my own boss as far as like I branched out. I actually worked with my mom and was a partner with my mom who's been a small business accountant for 40 years. And I branched out with her away from her about 6 years ago and started my own accounting business. So basically over the last 18 years, I work primarily with small businesses. So not just people who are doing network marketing. I have a lot of experience with people who are literally starting out their business from scratch. That's actually one of my specialties, is helping people take their vision of what they want to do for a business and take a business plan, put an entire business plan together, create an actual brick and mortar real business, and then help them set up all their systems like human resources and accounting and things like that. So like I've had the really awesome opportunity over the last 18 years to watch many, many businesses grow, begin, shoot, skyrocket, fail miserably, go on to be successful. Like I've seen basically it all from all different walks of life, from, you know, more hands-on like construction type businesses to financial service businesses to retail businesses. I mean, I've literally worked with basically, you know, restaurants, every kind of business that you can think of over the last 18 years. So, so entrepreneurship wasn't a new thing to me, but the one thing that I did see over the past 18 years is that there are very similar things that make business owners and entrepreneurs fail, and there are very similar things that make them succeed, right? So Tony Robbins says success leaves clues. I'm sure you guys have heard people say that, you know, a lot. I mean, it's a very, you know, you hear Beachbody coaches talk about it. He was kind of the one that coined it, and he basically means when you see people who are successful in a certain realm of business, go out and model them. Like do what, yeah, I say it all the time because Jesse says I say it all the time. I do, because I truly believe that. But Tony Robbins was the guy that kind of coined that, you know. But success does leave clues, especially in business, right? I mean, even let's take our other aspects of our own, you know, our own business, like health and fitness, weight loss and stuff like that. The people that are successful at losing a lot of weight, they do very specific things. And while they may tweak their diets here and there, they're doing very, you know, they're being consistent. They're doing the similar things, right? To actually lose weight or to get healthy or to eat well. And so the same thing goes for business. It doesn't matter if it's network marketing, you know, a Beachbody business, some other network marketing business, a traditional brick and mortar business. It doesn't matter, right? It all is the same. And so that's kind of what I want to talk to you guys a little bit about. So there's kind of three different things that I've seen a lot of businesses do, and the successful businesses that I've worked with do. You know, the business owners, they always remain teachable and coachable, right? No matter what, they're constantly learning new things. They're not afraid to bring on consultants or new information or get the education that they need to keep up with the demands of their business. And they're fast about it. They don't delay, right? That's one thing that small business owners have that large corporations are kind of like sluggish about, right? They have to go through a lot of bureaucracy and red tape in order to actually get things done or get things changed. But with us, we can see a problem and we can go, okay, what do I need to do to fix it? I'm going to get this kind of education. I'm going to bring on extra help. I'm going to do whatever I need to do. And we do it, right? We just take action. That's the number 2 one. They act, right? They act on what they learn and they act quickly. And so, you know, for us, like in our own businesses, we take daily action steps, right? Like things like our power hour, doing our personal development, you know, posting on social media. These are different action steps that we should be taking in our business to move forward. And the third is they repeatedly adapt and they change, right? Because we can't control necessarily the way the world works or the way the world perceives us. What we can control is what we do with that, right? And so really learning to adapt over time is what will sustain you for the long haul in your business. And, you know, being a coach for almost 5 years, right? You're over 5 years now, right? Yeah, we're like 6 months apart. So she's now a coach for over 5 years. We see a lot of changes. There's been a lot of changes over the last 5 years in Beachbody. And, you know, some people are cool with it. Some people aren't. And, you know, I'm going to talk with you a little bit more about that at the end, and like what you can kind of do with that. But first of all, I want to talk to you guys about just a couple things about just being an entrepreneur in general, because I realize that for me, being an entrepreneur was a no-brainer. Like I said, I grew up in a family of entrepreneurs. Like I was basically immersed in it from birth. So entrepreneurship was just basically like, yeah, you don't go work for the man, you work for yourself. Like that's kind of what I was taught as a kid and what I'm now teaching my own children too. Yeah, working for the man. Damn the man. Yes. Okay. You know, the man pays the bills for a lot of people, but obviously we're all here for a reason. Like we're already entrepreneurs. And, you know, the reason you're here So like, basically, I want y'all to let your freak flag fly, right? That is basically the number one. If I could get the one thing from you guys, let your freak flag fly. And I don't mean that by like some kind of like put down or anything like that. I mean it because you are a freak. Technically, like less than 10% of the population is entrepreneurs, right? 90% of the population, the rest of the people, they work for the man. They work for someone else. They work building someone else's dream, right? 90% of those. So, you know, like I wrote down the definition of freaks. I'm totally going to read it to you guys. Like basically, a freak is a person who is obsessed with or unusually enthusiastic about a specific interest. Would you all say that's true about you guys with Beachbody? Right? Okay, with at least some facet of Beachbody. Like I know that's totally true with me. So, you know, normal people generally don't like it when freaks kind of step out, right? They get intimidated. It makes them reflect back on themselves. Like, you know, they feel threatened. You start to get haters. You know, it challenges other people's identity because it really does. When you go after something that you love and that you like that's different, it makes people reflect and think about their own life, right? So, you know, you may feel when you first start, you know, that's kind of one of the first obstacles that we face as we start as coaches is feeling that kind of pressure. Or, you know, if you don't have a lot of people who are entrepreneurs, like when I told my parents, my family, I was doing this, they're like, oh yeah, hell yeah, multiple streams of income. Yeah, that's the way you do it, right? My parents were like, and, you know, they think that network marketing is the best business model out there, which it totally is. You know, so, but you may not have that in your life, right? You may have people that are kind of giving you pushback, right? And the worst part is that it's a lot of times it's people that we love, right? You think that it's going to be people that love you, that support you the most, but a lot of times that's not true. So this is kind of.
Can I add on real quick, Cindy?
No. Yeah, of course.
So I want to let you guys know that I seen a lot of your guys' faces like a light bulb went off when Cindy was saying like that's her background. That's where she came from because both of her parents were like that. Well, not a lot of people grew up that way. And so maybe you're feeling like you're not supported by, like Cindy just said, the people closest to you. And I want to let you know that it's completely normal and you're not alone. See, I came from two different parents, okay? My mom who believed that unless you worked 9 to 5 for the man, you weren't doing an actual job. And my dad would do anything and everything he could to not work for the man. Okay. So my dad tried to create inventions. My dad like invented this thing called the quickie gutter to open 5-gallon buckets because he was an inventor. My dad would play harmonica. My dad like did all this stuff. Like I totally take after him, but like I came from, you know, like, should I do this? Should I do this? And, you know, unlike Cindy, when they're like, oh yeah, network marketing, this, and this, my mom's like, really? So yeah, so if you are not supported by the people that you think you are, they may come around and they may not, but it's okay because you're not doing it for them. So just remember that. That's all I had to say.
Yeah. Like, and you know, and it's true. It really is true. You know, you may not have that. So that's like kind of like the first thing that we adapt to as coaches, right? Or as entrepreneurs is really facing that kind of reflection in our mirror. Like, feeling that, okay, I'm going to make this leap, whether it's with Beachbody or anything else. It doesn't matter if it's network marketing or brick and mortar business, right? It is the same. Like, or
even your own health and fitness journey.
Yeah. Like people don't like to see, you know, I mean, I've seen that with, you know, with couples or people like that, where one couple starts to get healthy and the other person really pushes back because they feel like, you know, they think that you're going to start pressuring them. Like my husband, this really happened in my house, you know? So I didn't get to pressure him, but he just saw me get healthier and then he started, right? I never tried to like convince him to, you know, do Beachbody programs or anything like that. It just happened naturally. Which is why it's important to stay the long run and be adaptable when things change, is because, especially in your business, because people are watching you. And I'm going to be honest with you. There's a lot of haters out there. There's a lot of people that want you to fail. Like, I have a story that I read that I totally want to share with you guys. It's like an analogy, and it's so awesome. And it totally, like, legit, you're going to, like, hear it, and you're going to be like, oh, my God, people are totally like this. We're like crabs. Y'all know what crabs are, right? There's not anyone out here that doesn't know what a crab is. I grew up in a fishing family, so, like, we used to go crabbing, like, every weekend, like, at my house, right? It was like, no, we're crab crazy. Oh, I know. You hate seafood, Vicki. You're weird. Okay. So, anyway, That's me hating it. I'm being a hater.
I was talking to Ashley. I like crab, actually.
Okay.
Keep going with your crab story.
You don't like fish, right?
I do like fish. I don't like fish that taste like fish.
Oh, yeah. So you wouldn't eat salmon. Like, she didn't eat salmon on the Ultimate Reset because it tastes like fish. Okay. So there we go. I'm going to move on for this. Okay. So basically, for those of you guys that have never been crabbing before, basically the way crabs are caught, they're caught in crab pots, right? And you drop them in the water. They're like a cage thing. There's like one little opening on the top. You basically tie bait in it, which can be anything because crabs are crazy bottom feeders. They'll eat anything. So like we always used to use like frozen chicken thighs. We just like tie a little thing, one little chicken thigh. Okay. One. The crabs, Mr. Crab, Cindy Crab will be like, hey, chicken, crawl up. They drop in and they're eating on the thing. Other crabs see another crab because they're totally social creatures, right? Just like humans. And they see another crab over here hanging out eating this food and they're like, oh my God, give us some of that chicken. And they start piling in. And next thing you know, you got like 20 crabs in a pot, right? The crabs will literally keep coming. If you leave that pot there, they will literally keep coming even when there's no bait there anymore because they see their friends over there, right? So they'll be like, dang, I want to be like, Ashley, she's over there eating that chicken. What? Like, I want to eat, or, what's she doing in that cage? I want to go hang out with Ashley in that cage. Like, they're legit like that, right? I don't think they really think like that because they're kind of dumb, but this is what they do. Not saying humans are dumb because I don't think they're dumb, but we do the same thing. We do dumb things like this. How about that? So basically, they'll go in there like that, okay? So for those of you guys who have ever seen a crab walk, they can walk upside down, right? These crabs at any moment in time can crawl out, but they don't. In fact, if there's like 20 crabs in a pot and one crab tries to climb out, all the other crabs will literally scramble and to the point where they will rip off the legs of the crab who's trying to escape and do something different, right? Now, we do the exact same thing. We see people who are doing the status quo, the 90%, the herd, whatever you want to call it, right? The norm, what everyone else is doing, and we want to be a part of it. We have legit FOMO. Anyone not know what that is? Vicki didn't know what that was. Fear of missing out. Humans have that. Fear of missing out, right? Is a big problem. I have it. I get it all the time. I know everyone does. If you say you don't, you're lying, right? Because you're human. So we get it, right? And so that happens to us as humans. So when like the herd sees one of us, one of the 10 percenters, I'm going to start using these. These are not political analogies, just, like when I say the 10 percenters, whatever, when they see a 10 percenter going, oh my gosh, I just started this new business. I'm super excited about it. Like I'm ready to take this on. You're going to get pushback, right? Like you're going to get crabs. So when you're feeling that pressure, you're going to get doubt, you're going to get ridicule, you're going to get humiliation, teasing, a million other things, right? I try to think of all the million things that I've gotten in the last, 11 years, right? People are going to say what they're going to say because they have doubts and insecurities about their own life, right? And it's, like I said, it's even going to be about people who love us. And it usually happens for one of two reasons, right? It's because you make them look bad in their eyes, right? Because you're doing what you want, or you're doing something different that they may want to do, or they aren't as brave as you. Bottom line, being an entrepreneur takes bravery. It does, because it's different, because you are in the 10%, right? Oh my God, I just threw something down. Okay, so you're already there, right? So you're already feeling it. So, when this is kind of like an obstacle, it's a place and a milestone where people quit, right? Where people give up on their dreams and what they want to do. Because people, as humans, we're not going to rip people's arms off, right? Right?
Hopefully not.
No one's had their arm ripped off by someone that didn't want them to start their business, right? I hope we don't do that. But we're going to get that with the hatred. How many of you guys, by raising your hand, had anyone have any experience with this? Like, have any of you had any kind of negative feedback, right? All of you. Right? Okay. So there, we know that's there. So if we know this is going to happen, we don't got to bitch about it. Right? We don't need to worry about it. We know why it's happening logically. And well, yeah, we're human. So of course it's going to sting sometimes and stuff, but the quicker you can adapt to that and just know that it has nothing to do, 99.9% of the time, It has nothing to do with you and everything to do with the other people and them feeling inadequate, right? If you know that, you can keep on keeping on. You can adapt. You can move on. You can do things, continue doing what you want to do to be successful, right? So that's kind of like, so I wanted to give you guys a quick couple strategies, right, of different aspects that are going to come up. Because these are kind of the big ones, like haters. These are the reasons why most coaches quit in the first year, right, are because of haters. They can't get past it. The cure to both of those things that I just talked about, like the haters and really not having that support, anyone want to guess what it is? Y'all know I'm going to push it, right? Yep. Look, that's one of my personally sponsored coaches. She knew. She's like, personal development. Yeah, you got to do your personal development. There's a reason why it's in the vital behaviors. Okay? Every day, without exception. I don't care if some days you don't do your power hour, but I do care if you don't do your PD because you need it every single day, right?
Whether you're a Beachbody coach or not, you should be reading PD.
Yeah. My husband doesn't work his Beachbody business, and he reads personal development. Don't tell him I told you, though. Okay? Because he kind of keeps it, like, on the down low, and I just...
He hides it in a magazine or a comic book.
Yeah, basically. Or on his phone. And only listens to it in secret squirrel places so I don't hear it. I know. Yep, I know. Hey, at least he's doing it though. Like, right? It's like, I don't care. I don't care how he does it. I don't care how he gets it in. I'm just glad he does. Okay. So here's my first couple one. The first two you guys are going to kind of laugh at a little bit. Probably. Well, the second one for sure. My number one strategy to being able to adapt and be successful in your business is to stop being likable. Right? Probably didn't think I was going to say that one, right? Because probably thought, oh, we should be likable to everyone. And everything has to be all happy-go-lucky. No, my success partner, Ashley Kugler, is on here, so she is a perfect example of that. Some people don't like her. So you want to know why? Because she lives her truth, right? She posts her truth no matter what, no matter if people like it or not, and she downright has people that hate her. And if I could give you guys any advice, I would try to get people to hate you. Not by being a jerk, right? Not by being like, you guys are assholes, and I'm gonna, blah, blah, blah. But I'm talking about get people to hate you by living your life so on purpose and with so much boldness and bravery and living your truth so out loud that people have to take notice. Because people are going to hate you. People are not going to like that for the same reasons I said before. Because they're scared, because it shows a reflection of them, right? I even told some of my coaches, I realized I did not have a lot of haters. And I was like, telling my coaches, I'm like, I am not doing things right. I am just not being vocal enough about my truth. Yes, Tracy. See, being blocked, dude, I've been blocked by Beachbody coaches. Are you on our team? Really? Because I live out loud. Not because I was a jerk, but because I'm showing up, right? Authentically. Okay? It happens, right? And it's not, like I said, it could be the people that you think love you, right?
It's about being unapologetically you.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, let's use like the presidency, for example, right? This is like a great example. So, I mean, you think of being a president of the United States, you're like the largest public office, the largest public figure and person in the country, public to the world. Usually it's like 49% to 51%. Is like how someone gets elected, right? And usually the like 49% that lost legit hate the person that won, right? We're not talking like don't really like them. It gets like heated, right? Like they like legit, some people like legit hate them. Can you imagine? You're like, hey, I totally just became the president of the United States and I got to give this speech now. How much pressure is that, right? Like, you think our jobs on social media is hard? I mean, try being the president for like a day, knowing that 49% of the people out there that are listening are probably throwing things at their TV, like hating you, doing crazy things, like, I don't care who you vote for, but like people have it rough. Like people that are showing up have people that hate them. It's not a big deal. You just got to know that it's going to happen. And I challenge every single one of you guys, if you have never had a hater, go look at your social media content. Look at how authentically you're sharing your life or your dreams or your goal, right? Well, I have something to say about thick skin, Ashley. Okay. So, you know, I mean, if you have disapproval in your life, 99% of the time, it means you're doing something right. Okay. The 1% is the asshole. The person is being an asshole, and that person is none of you guys, right? We all know that, right? So, you know, how can you adapt to that? Like, how can you adapt to having people that are going to be hating on you, right? You just got to reframe your perception about it. You just got to know that, you know, you have to reframe your perception about approval and other people's approval of you, right? And you have to realize who's important. Whose approval do you actually really need in life? Like, if anyone. I mean, I kind of need my husband's, but kind of knows that I just do what I want even when he disagrees with me. So, and that's how we stay married. Like, that's like basically, that's the success to a good marriage, right? Or the secret to a good marriage is just, you know, do what you want with respect, right? There you go. I got to add that last word, right? So you got to just let it empower you. Let others disapproval empower you, not drain you. I think that that's something that really happens with people. This is why I see people quit, is because they just can't, they get someone. It could be a family member or an old friend, or old high school friend, or someone goes hating on their post, or they see it on some other post about someone that they respect, maybe like hating about Shakeology or hating about network marketing or something like that, you know, and they really take that.
Or hating about selfies.
Yeah. Or, oh yeah, you're a bunch of narcissistic drama queens, you know. I'm like, yep, we are saving the world one person at a time. What are you doing? Right? Like, I'll take it. You want to get with me? Fine. I don't care. You know, so, but you know, like, you gotta change your perception about the way people think about you. And I know that this stuff is like easier said than done. Believe me, I struggle with a lot of this stuff too. It's taken time and a lot of personal development to get to the point where if I see someone hating on Shakeology, I'm like, I look at it from experience, like people's experience. I know my experience has been amazing with Beachbody. I have never had a negative experience with Beachbody in 5 years, right? And so that's my experience. But I know that not everyone has that experience. So I try to keep that, you know, in mind, right? I try to keep that perspective. And so you just got to embrace it, okay? So number 2, which I said y'all probably going to laugh at these, is really become laughable, right? Like, you want to have goals and a vision for your life that people freaking laugh at, right? You don't want, I know a lot of you guys were chatting about, I can't really keep up with like the chit chat and stuff like that, but I saw, you know, a lot of you guys are like, oh, the man, blah, 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 the man, you know. People joke about that because it's true, right? It really is, can feel like a mega pressure to work for someone else all the time. And when you have big dreams that go outside of that, they go outside of just showing up and punching a time card for someone else, that too is intimidating to other people, you know. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so sorry. Look, I'm not even drinking bubbly water tonight, but I'm still coughing. At least I'm not burping for you guys. I'm drinking non-bubbly water and coughing instead of burping. Look, I'm coughing again. So we're like basically programmed from a young age to feel that when someone laughs at us, it's hurtful, right? That when someone's laughing at you, you know, it hurts, you know. But you got to think about if it's really that bad. Like, I think about the reason why people laugh at Beachbody coaches. It goes back to the selfieing, right? The narcissist type behavior, or, you know, for me, I'm a plus size Beachbody coach. Like, I started with Beachbody at 150 pounds overweight. And I'll be honest with you, I've had a lot of coaches over the years message me who have been anywhere from 15 pounds to 100 pounds overweight, asking me if I've ever struggled with the fact of people not being able to trust in me because I'm not at my goal weight, right? Because that's something that people feel is laughable, right? Oh, like, I'm sure you've all heard it, right? Oh, how does that person who's still overweight think they're going to be able to help me, right? I've never once had someone say that to my face. Maybe they say it behind my back. I don't know. That doesn't concern me. But I've never once had someone, any of my customers or anyone in my experience or anyone on my social media say it to my face, right? Or say it to me. So that's not my experience. So like, I would never think of that. So my mindset, I'm like, no, that has nothing to do with my ability to help people, right? Like, I think of like health and fitness and levels and things like that. So that's something to be laughable, right? So, you know, you can be a plus size fitness coach and be successful, right? Like people may scoff at that. And I'm like, well, you know what? That's what I got for you, right? Can I do that? Am I allowed to do that? I can, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll just edit this video and put a censor blur image over that. It's fine.
Yeah. Oh, your workouts are my warm-ups. Someone just said that to me the other day. Oh, that's funny. Because that person is very insecure. So that's great. You know, I mean, you just got to look at stuff like that. When people say things like that, you're just like, well, why is that productive? Like, why would someone say that? Like, you got to think about why people say things on social media, right? Like, why would someone openly say something to put down someone else who's obviously bettering their life, right? Like, you have to think about where someone else is coming from. Yes, hurt people do hurt people.
Because when people see someone vibrating at a different frequency that's a higher frequency than them, they want to bring them back down to their level, point blank.
Because why? Because they're crabs.
Because they're crabs.
Right? That's what y'all gotta start doing. When someone does that, like on your social media from now on, I want you all to be like, stop being a crab, yo. Right? Like,
just give them the crab emoji.
I want you all to say, stop being a crab, yo. Right? You know, I mean, you got to think about people who were laughed at, right, in history. Well, Disney tried to buy 160 acres of orange fields and wanted to build the happiest place on earth. What a dumb idea, people told him. That's stupid. How many of y'all been to Disneyland or Disney World? Anyone? Yeah, a lot. You've never been, Vicki?
No.
Are you kidding me? I'm taking you. That's it.
Yes.
Oprah, right? Oprah, Einstein, Bill Gates, Richard Branson, Mark Zuckerberg. Hello, we're on Facebook every day. Like, that was a mistake, right? I bet those people are laughing the other way now, right? Muhammad Ali, the Wright brothers, Martin Luther King, Steve Jobs. I mean, come on, right? Like, people are going to laugh at people that are doing something different, right? And so, you know, if you believe in your dream and what you want to do, you cannot let the laughter of other people stop you. Like, you have to be able to adapt to it and see it for what it is. Yeah, when the Wright brothers told them wrong, they were going to fly. Yeah, you have to learn to embrace the laughter, okay? Okay, so this one's really important. And this is really important to adopting. And it actually goes hand in hand with what Vicki said about keeping your blinders up, okay? So you have to learn as an entrepreneur to define what success means to you, okay? So, and you were talking about being a people pleaser, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, too many people carry the burden of living to please someone else.
I used to be that person, and Cindy knows that.
Yeah.
She hated me.
Whether it is friends, a mother, a father, you know, your social status, whatever it is that you think you have to be, right? Like, you have to break that down. You know, that is the best gift you can give yourself, is to pursue your dreams for you, right? So, you know, for your own sake, not for someone else's success, you know. So one thing I challenge every single one of you guys to do is, if you have not written down in detail what success looks like for you, then you need to write it down and have it physically written down so you can see it at any moment in time. This isn't talking about a why necessarily, but like who you are as a person, right? And you know, like as Beachbody coaches, we have a lot of outward benchmarkers for success in our businesses, right? So we have things like, you know, rank advancement, income, recruitments, success level, going to parties, trips, things like that. Those are all like outward benchmarks, so you can define your success within Beachbody, right? Does that make sense? It's like something, it's like a little goal to shoot for to keep the momentum going in your business. But success to you should not be something like, I am a 10-star diamond in Beachbody, right? It needs to be more personal than that. You know, it needs to be things like, you know, I mean, benchmarks are needed. Like, we need them in place to keep us motivated, to keep us going and stuff like that, because our success is going to be more abstract. And you may find, as I did when I did this for myself, that for a long time I was always kind of like outwardly reaching for success benchmarks and feeling like I would be successful at a certain point. And like when I'm at my goal weight, or when I reach a certain X amount of income, I can retire from accounting because I've been phasing out of accounting and into coaching more, right? Because that's my goal, is to be done with my 18 years of accounting. Let's all hope that it doesn't go to 19, right? That's my goal. But, and moving 100% into Beachbody, right? And so with those kind of benchmarks, like, Success Club and rank advancement, it becomes really easy for us to compare ourselves to other people and for us to feel let down or feel inadequate when we're not pacing people around us. Or like for me, I've been a coach for 5 years, and there are other coaches that have been coaching for 2 years that are, their rank is way ahead of me, right? But the thing is that me as a coach, like, I didn't start actively coaching. I have to look at what my life looks like compared to theirs, right? They were hustlers right out the gate, right? They were in it to win it. They had no roadblocks. I had roadblocks. I had personal roadblocks. And I worked really, really hard to overcome those roadblocks, right? And so each of us are going to be in a different spot. So it's really unfair to you and your journey and your own success and your future to compare yourself to other people, because it's only going to be detrimental to you. I mean, the only person, you can't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 34. You just can't, right? And believe me, take it from me. I've spent time doing this. I'm a pro. I'm a pro at not keeping my blinders up. I'm going to tell you all to keep your blinders up, like Vicki said. Vicki's had some moments of blinders down as well, which is why she knows that you got to keep them up, right? You have to keep your own sanity.
It does you absolutely no good when you're looking around at what other people are doing. Absolutely no good.
Yeah.
It's not productive to you in any way, shape, or form.
It can do more harm.
Yeah, for sure. It can do more harm. And I know a lot of people that are like, well, I'm going to look at other coaches for content and like try to get ideas. But even that, like, I'm going to be honest, I don't really follow any coaches. Like, even my own success partner will be like, dude, did you see my stuff? And I'm like, did you see the thing I posted earlier today? I'm like, no, because I don't scroll. And no, I didn't go to your Facebook today, so I'm going to go to your Facebook now because we talked, right? So it's like, I try to just not do it. Like, I don't, right? And so I don't suggest you scroll. I don't suggest you constantly stalk other people's Facebook pages, because the thing is that this business is built, like, people want you, right? They don't want, I just had to have this conversation with my kids, with my son, my 2 sons, right? About, don't be a second-rate version of don't be a knockoff of someone else, right? People are going to love and appreciate you for exactly who you are. You don't have to pretend to be someone else, Of course, I'm middle schooler, so they're all about pretending to be other people, right? So I'm trying to, like, nip it in the bud before they even get to high school, right? So this is like a huge roadblock that people face. Like, they put up, I know coaches that have been really successful and they have a really hard time seeing that in themselves. And they're constantly playing the comparison game to the point where they end up quitting. Like, literally right before their business could take off. Or they get to a point and they really are being successful and they just can't see it because it's just not as successful. It's just, if they can only just be a little bit more successful because they see someone else doing it, right? So if you can define success for you, like for me, I realized this year, like through the actual, what was the group we were in? Oh my God, like my brain's like.
The elite one?
No, the one with you.
Diamond Mind.
Thank you. Oh my God, you guys see, I spent my day with 120 kindergartners, so my mind's a little fried right now. With the Diamond Mind group we were in, like, it was really emotional for me because I figured out for the first time in 41 years, not just the 5 years I've been as a Beachbody coach, really what success looked like for me. And it was like, it was not the outside markers that I was looking for. It was more internal, like spending more quality time with my kids, like more one-on-one time, like really building deep and connected relationships with the people that I care about the most, things like that. Like, those things were what success was to me. Or like pushing myself physically, which I can do at this weight. I don't have to be at my goal weight, right? So it was like, instead of me thinking that I had to be somewhere at a certain level and constantly pushing and pushing and pushing, it was like being more content with where I was right now. So for me, like, I'm not really trying to hit goals anymore or outside things, because I found myself when I was trying to put a timeline on goals, I was falling up short, right? And I was really comparing myself to other people and putting up those blinders. So what did I do? I had to adapt it to myself, right? And so what I did is I adapted it to what I was feeling. And now for me, I have directions that I want my life to go. Like, I want to be in the direction of debt-free. I want to be in the direction of retiring from accounting. What do I need to do? I need to put action behind those directions every single day, right? So that's where my focus has changed, and I've been much more consistent than I ever have in my life, right? Because I'm focusing on my direction instead of someone else's direction, if that makes sense. And I didn't know that until I really wrote down what success really meant to me. And I realized I am already successful in my own eyes right here in this moment, right? And a lot of you guys that may be feeling inadequate right now or feeling that like pressure of those blinders, if you write this down, you may feel like that same way, that you really truly are living it. Or it could just take a small little tweak of how your daily actions or behaviors to get there, right? So, okay, I'm trying to speed this up, right, Vicki? Because we know that I can run long, so I'm trying not to run long for you guys. Okay, this one's a big one for Beachbody coaches. I like to call it get a grip, right? This is my little coin phrase. Get a grip, people. All about adapting to rejection. Because I know this is like a huge thing for coaches, right? People are afraid to post online. They're afraid to post for social media. They're afraid to invite. They're afraid to have conversations. They're afraid to talk to other humans. They're afraid to post their selfies. They're afraid to post their workout pictures, or afraid to, I know people that are coaches on my team that are afraid to read personal development, because when they read personal development, it hurts because they realize that they need to change, right? That's a big one. People, so they don't read it, right? Okay, so I read this thing that like, or they fall asleep. Yep, Jesse. You gotta do it really loud in your car, like on audio or something like that, and be like, instead of like rocking out to music, you'd be like, I love this, I'm Tony Robbins, like super loud in your car. So like I have this new test that I read in a prospecting book I was reading, and they were talking about when you talk to people, there was a story about funerals, right? And I know this is totally like morbid kind of, but I got all these stories. I work in analogies. If you haven't heard this, like it's really kind of how my brain works. It's how I understand things. So there's like, it's said that like, even if you're like a rad human and everyone loves you in life and you're doing super good things, you're lucky if 10 people will cry at your funeral, right? That's like on average, whatever. Like, okay. So when you read that, you're like, really? 10 people. I have 2,000 Facebook friends. If not more than 10 people cry at my funeral, I am pissed, right? I'm like, you guys really don't care about me, right? Well, that's the point. People really don't care about you. Like, you got to get a grip. You got to get over yourself, right? Because that's the number one reason why people are afraid to invite or afraid to prospect or afraid to do anything, really, is because we're afraid of what people are going to think about us. We're afraid of people judging us, So after I read that, now whenever I like come across someone that I really want to invite to something and I get, the nervous, because even after 5 years, I still get the, especially if it's someone I really want to invite, someone I really want to say yes, right? You get a little nervous and, you think, I don't know if I'm going to do this, or I don't know if I'm going to do whatever. Think to yourself, would this person even cry at my funeral? You're going to laugh. It's going to make you laugh. And you're going to be like, no, they probably wouldn't. Just invite them. Get over yourself. You have to get over that fear. You have to create some kind of, y'all can laugh at me, but I'm serious. Like, I use tricks like this for myself because you have to get over yourself. Because I don't know about y'all, but like, I can psych myself the fuck out, right? I'm sure none of you do this ever. I'm sure none of you ever psych yourself out into inviting anyone because y'all are laughing. So y'all must be perfect inviters, right? No one here is afraid of inviting to anything, I'm sure, right? Yeah. Liars. I know I've called you guys liars a lot tonight. I'm sorry. but you may be lying to yourself a little, because we like to make excuses about why things aren't happening. And usually it's because we're afraid, right? And so basically you got to do it. So in this prospecting book I was reading, so it's actually called, what is it called? I'll write it down later. I can't remember what it's called. You remember what it's called, Vicki? It's posted in the leaders group.
In the Misfit leaders group?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't pay attention. I keep my blinders on.
Keeping your blinders on, I know.
Yeah, I just run around like this, whack walls. That's what I do.
Oh my God.
What book are you talking about? By the way, write this book down. John C. Maxwell, No Limits. Just
okay, it's upstairs.
Write that down. Put it all on your list.
What is it?
John C. Maxwell, No Limits.
Oh, I have not read that.
It's his brand new one.
So anyway, I'll post it later. I'll post it in the team page, what the book is that I was reading. But they were talking about, so the whole funeral thing, right? Because and I really resonated with this, and I think it's because I'm 40. So, sorry. So it was like the 1840, my God, are you kidding me? Sorry. The 18-40-65 rule, okay? So at 18, you really care what people think, right? You're like, you care about gossip. You care about what everyone thinks about you. Like, you're like, oh, blah, blah. You know, I mean, you guys see it. Like, any of you around 18-year-olds, like 25-year-olds. Oh, sorry. There's 25-year-olds on here. But you really care, right? And at 40, you do not care about gossip and what other people are doing. I can honestly, like, attest to that. Like, you want as little as drama as possible. You don't like drama, right? At 65, you not only care about gossip, but you realize that no one gives a shit about you, right? I mean, like, maybe your close family and friends, but like all this time that you spend in your life thinking that everyone's judging you, that everyone's, you know, thinking that you're doing something, or oh my gosh, what is Cindy doing? What is Vicki doing? Oh my gosh, Vicki and her vixen red hair. Oh, you know, or whatever, you know. I mean, like, people don't even care, right? They don't care because they're too worried about themselves, right? So you just got to think about that. You have to learn how to just realize that, or use tricks like that, like I use, where you really go into situations and you're like, you know, this isn't serving me, to think that this, you know, you have something to offer someone, a gift to offer someone, and you need to look at it in a positive light versus what is someone going to think of me, right? So the next one, almost the last one, right, is you got to reduce your rebound time. You got to be able to adapt to this too. And Vicki, I'm sure will have some words about this because she's had some setbacks and failures in this business that have really, she had a hard time with, and she had a hard time coming to terms with, right? So like basically in this business, in any business, it has nothing to do with whether you're in network marketing. So if you think for 1 minute that just it has to do with network marketing, you're lying to yourself. Like, I'm calling you guys liars again. I think that's like the theme of today. We should have called it that. You're all liars. That's what the team call should have been called instead of that. You're all liars. Or stop lying to yourself. That would have been a good one. You know, you'll experience setbacks, failures, things like that. They hurt everyone. Like, no one is immune to that. Whether you're a brand new baby coach to a 15-star diamond coach, or a triple 15-star diamond coach, or the top coach, Melanie Mitro. There is absolutely nothing different between those people except for the way that they treat failure, right? The people who are not successful have a hard time adapting to failure. They don't look as failure as forward. They look as failure as backwards, right? So that was a book reference that I was going to give. She already shouted out to a John Maxwell book, but the book Failing Forward by John Maxwell is an amazing book. And it talks about how you can turn your failures into, you know, your stepping stones, right? You know, so, you know, the difference between someone who is an unsuccessful coach who ends up quitting and someone who stays the course, and I guarantee you every 15-star diamond out here has failed 100 times more than every single one of us, right? Even though they're super successful, that's why they're super successful, is your rebound time, right? So it's not about how many times you fall, it's how quickly you are able to get back up. So let's say you miss a goal, whatever your goal you're trying to reach, or someone says no to you, right? Like if you invite someone, like let's say you're a brand new coach and you're new to inviting, so you're not used to the process. and you invite someone and they say no to you. Usually when you're a new coach, it's really, it can be downright dramatic, right? I mean, it can be like, you're like, because you take it personally and you're like, they just don't like me, and you're like, no, it has nothing to do with you at all, right? And for some coaches, it can take 2 years for them to rebound from that, right? But the faster you can rebound, whether it's 2 years, 2 weeks, 2 hours, 20 minutes, 2 minutes, the faster you can learn to rebound and move forward, the better off you'll be, right? You got to brush it off and get it back to work. Like, Vicki, do you want to talk at all about that? You don't have to, but.
Yeah, I could touch on it real quick. Like, I mean, my coaches and my personally sponsored team know, I went live many times when I have quote unquote failed, and I was humble and I showed up. But you guys, I failed hitting elite 3 years in a row. And the first year it was downright traumatizing. And I felt like a failure. January and February sucked balls, or just sucked in general. I didn't mean to get that vulgar, but like
you got more vulgar than me, so I don't feel like
that's what we do. Anytime, like, here's the thing. When I don't know if any of you guys are like me, but when I shoot for something, like, that's all I could focus on. Like, that's my big focus. And as soon as that thing does not hit, like, my whole world comes crashing down. Relationships are affected. Your health and wellness is affected. You feel like a failure. Your personal mental health just goes out the drain or down the drain, right? Like, you just feel like a piece of shit. Like, oh my God, I'm not good enough. I didn't deserve that anyways. Right? Like, I could have very well stayed down in the gutter every January for the last 3 years, or I could have got up and kept going. And guess what? This year I ain't shooting for elite. Fuck elite. Sorry. Not sorry. But like I'm saying, I don't care, because that is just a shiny outside object that people shoot for. And that's fine. If that's what you want to shoot for, that's fine. But what my definition of success is, it's not being an elite coach. It's being here every fucking day with you guys, showing up, being in the trenches, helping people, being someone. That's being successful. That's my version of success.
I got to say something real quick, because I was thinking about that, like how, all those years that you were shooting, because so y'all know that we've been together, coaching together for 5 years, right? Well, and
5 years strong.
5 years, right? We were total strangers before we met, by the way, through coaching. Like, we haven't been like besties our whole life or anything like that. But I basically stalked her because she was friends with my husband and wanted to be friends with her. So that's what happened. I'm just gonna come clean with that, right? The rest is history. So I have to say that those 3 years, I feel like now that you've done a lot of work. Like, Vicki's done a lot of work on herself personally, and her own personal growth, and her own spiritual growth and relationship growth, and what your self-love and like what really is who you are as a person, right? Like the core values of you as a person. You've really worked on that in the past year. And I gotta say, as one of your personally sponsored coaches, I feel like now when you're not shooting for elite, but you're doing what aligns with what is important to you, I feel like you're a better coach, a better leader, and mentor, a better friend. You're more authentic. I'm serious. Like, I really feel that. I mean, I've seen it all, right? I've seen the whole process of all of it, right? And it's really interesting. I mean, that really is a kind of a testament to really how important it is to define that success for you, right? Because she was defining success for her based off of what other mentors told her. Like, you just got to do it this way. You got to go elite. If you want to be successful in Beachbody, you got to go elite. I know a lot of coaches that are super successful in Beachbody, hitting their goals, living their dream lives, who are not elite, right? Who never go elite, right? Or maybe go elite once in their 9 years of coaching or something like that, right?
And even the opposite, people that go elite, that their business crashes.
Yeah,
or not even making $1,000 a month as an elite coach.
Or even, I know a local 15-star diamond who I was on the Seattle Market Council with, who pushed, that we were with, right? That was pushing and pushing for 15-star diamond. And it almost ruined her whole life, her whole marriage and all this stuff. And I'm not saying that pushing for 15-star diamond is wrong, right? I'm not saying that on any level. but I'm saying it has to align with what is important to you, right? You got to do it at your pace and what fits with your family and what your priorities are. And that's why it's really important. I think a lot of times I think the most important thing you can teach a new coach is to define what success means to them. Like in a getting started right call. Like, and they may not even know that. They may not even understand that. And I think that that's our biggest job as coaches and mentors when we bring people in here is to help them. We talk about helping people to develop a why. And your why is like kind of tied into that, right? It's kind of like, what does success mean to you? Like, why are you here? Are you here for accolades, or are you here because, like me, you want to be able to go to your kids' field trips and stuff like that, even if it stresses you out and you're about ready to die of exhaustion, right? But I mean, those are the things that are important to me. My family is my number one priority, right? So all my decisions align with that, right? So I'm not going to be hosting 18 webinars a week at night during family time. That's an easy decision for me to make, right? And so it makes it very, very easy to set the priorities in your business and for you to say, when someone hates on you, which you'll get, we all know, right? You'll get the haters, you'll get the crabs. When someone says something mean to you or whatever, it makes it very easy for you to, like my girl Taylor Swift says, brush it off.
She says shake it off.
Or shake it, whatever. There you go.
Brush it off.
Teresa was actually correct me because her and her daughter are like obsessed with Taylor Swift, right? Okay. And it's not about, like with the whole rebound thing, it's not really necessarily about getting thicker skin. It's about, making yourself better, right? It's the same thing as muscles. Like when we build muscles, if any of you guys know the anatomy of muscles, right? You don't build your muscles when you lift the weights, when you feel the burden, right? You do after, when you're recovering. When you're moving forward, that's when the muscles grow. It's after you tear them down. Okay? So, hello, science. I just dropped science. Science is real. Apply it to your business, right? When you feel the burden, move on, because then you'll grow, right? Okay, so I have one more thing. It's important.
You can talk science, just don't get analytical with me.
I did give some facts, though. I'm sorry. I am like a nerd. Y'all know I'm an owl and a nerd, so I work in stories and facts, so that's how I work. So, no, do not restart my computer. That would be bad.
Uh-oh, hurry.
Okay, so this one's really important too, especially with all the changes that we're having at Beachbody right now. It really applies deeply and strategically to our businesses over the next, 6 to 12 months. So there are a lot of things that we have to learn to adapt to as far as like change in businesses, like change in technology, right? Like how are we going to be coaching our business, using our coaching businesses. When our coaching network first started, it was all in person. There was no Facebook. There was no Facebook groups. Christine Dwyer, the founder of our company, became a 15-star diamond without Facebook groups. What? Like, mind blown, right? She had no Facebook groups. She had no Facebook network. She had to actually talk to real people, email people. So you have to learn to adapt to the technology, which anyone that knows me well knows me that technology is not my friend, and I'm an old dinosaur when it comes to technology, right? But I have had to learn things or reach out to the young pups on my team who love technology, right? And have them teach me how to use things. And like Instagram, you should have seen when Instagram first came out and Vicki was like, we were like at a coffee shop in Everett. She was like trying to show me how Instagram worked. This is like a long time ago, like 4 or 5 years ago. I don't know. It was like when it first came out, right? And I'm like, I have no idea what a hashtag is. I was like, felt so old. And these ladies,
it's the pound sign.
Yeah, I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, well, where does it go? I mean, I literally was like an old lady with a phone. It was really bad. Like a grandma with a phone. That's what I felt like. So like, but now look, I have a huge following on Instagram. I'm like an Instagram pro. I'm like hashtagging queen. I hashtag in real life. People, like, I'll talk to my kids and I'll be like, hashtag no, right? That's how I talk to them, okay? And they look at me and roll their eyes, right? So like, you gotta be adaptable. You have to learn. You cannot be like me and be like, oh, I'm never using social media. You can't do that. You can't. You gotta learn to be adaptable. You gotta learn your skills. Find the resources. They're all out there, right? Our team has every resource you could possibly use. So if you're feeling weak in an area, take it upon yourself to learn a new skill, right? That is what good business owners do. Okay. So here's a big one that I know I've been getting a lot of questions about from not just my own coaches, but other leaders on our team and coaches on our team is business structures, right? So like different things our company offers or the compensation plan, okay? So I know all of you know what a challenge pack is, right? Because challenge packs are like the lifeblood of our business, or what we thought it was, right? Well, 6 years ago, there was not a challenge pack. And for 4 years, coaches built their businesses without challenge packs. $2 million, okay? So when challenge packs came out, there were some coaches that were like, oh, what is this thing? Oh, this thing is just awful. I can't do this. What do they think I'm going to do with this? And then there were other coaches who were like, okay, this is the new thing with Beachbody. Cool. I'm going to run with it. I'm going to learn everything about it, and I'm going to sell challenge packs. Guess who is still here and successful? Anyone have a guess? The ones that ran with it, right? Now, what do we have now? We have Beachbody On Demand, right? We have on-demand all-access challenge packs or all-access challenge, yearly challenges, okay? So I'm a firm believer that Beachbody doesn't do anything that would harm us because they're a debt-free business that is highly successful and they want to make money. They're a business, right? They're not dumb, right? And so they moved us towards Beachbody On Demand. And there were some people that were like live streaming, no more DVDs. Are you kidding me? Because they were old dinosaurs and they're like, I can't give up my DVD player, right? Or my Betamax. Anyone know what that is? Yeah, it's no longer here. Or my 8-track. Anyone old enough on here? Tracy maybe, right? Anyone else? Yeah. Okay. Those are gone. Vicky's like, what's an 8-track? You see it? I see it in her
face. I'm just like,
I don't know. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. This is like the most important part though. So you gotta adapt to the times, right? You have to accept what is here, the Beachbody All Access Pass. And so one thing that I've been doing with mine is that, there is a compensation change, right? In how we're paid with the Beachbody, on-demand customers. But the thing is that at least I've noticed in my own business, and I know a lot of other coaches have noticed in their businesses too, is that Beachbody is focusing more on retention rates, right? They noticed that people were only, with a challenge pack, people were only buying like 1 month or 2 months of Shakeology, right? And they weren't staying with it. But when people were on demand and had it for a whole year, they would start and stop, kind of like the seasons work with everyone else, right? And so they had a higher retention rate, which is why they're moving towards digital streaming. And now look, now we're expanding to England in the fall, the UK, right? There are some people that are like, what am I going to do? A foreign country? Whatever, right? So there are people acting like that, right? People are getting dramatic about it, right? When instead we should be focusing on adapting to the new changes and being excited that we could be recruiting new people on the ground level in that country, right? The people that recruited like that in Canada are now top coaches, okay? They took it and they ran with it, right? So you have a choice. You have a choice in every situation. The same thing with social media, right? Learning new social media techniques or learning things like Snapchat, which I don't like, not very good at. There's a reason why we're not on MySpace anymore. Okay, social media, like none of us are running our businesses off of MySpace. As much as I really wish that Facebook would have music as its profile picture, right? And that would be the bomb if they have that. They're getting close. It's coming. But there's no more MySpace, right? Well, at least it's used on the dark web or something like that. I don't even know. So you've got to be adaptable, right? So we have a Beachbody motto, right? It's decide, commit, succeed. I challenge all of you guys to decide, commit, adapt, and succeed, okay? Because, there is only one certainty in business, and that is the only people that fail are the ones that quit. You got to adapt, okay? So roll with the punches, continue adapting, stay away from the shiny objects, right? And continue to just push forward because like Vicki said, every single one of you guys is here for a reason. Like you're here for a passion because you love what you're doing, or you've had a significant change in your own life and you want to pay that forward. You know, define what your success is for you, put your blinders up, learn to adapt to the new changes and the policies and the procedures instead of complaining about them, because we all know that complaining gets us nowhere, and just keep moving forward every single day. Keep failing forward, right?
Find a solution. Don't be part of the problem.
Yes. And with that, I'm done.
Wow. Thank you.
Oh, dang it, I didn't. Okay. It's because you told me.
She told me 30, 40 minutes.
I know. Shh. I had notes. If I didn't have notes, it'd be 90 minutes, y'all. You know,
But so that's why she tapped her watch at you. She doesn't do that if it's not 7:30 yet.
Oh, I know that. I know this. We have this, you know. Thing.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I saw it.
Thank you so much for Cindy for going over all of that. I think in the end, we really got to be flexible, and it's all about being consistent, because we have to be true to ourselves too. Because if your level or your definition of success is X, Y, and Z, but then you're at the end of the month and you're I don't feel successful. Well, look at your action steps too. Are you actually being fair to yourself that you put in the action steps to reach that level of success? If to you, your level of success is helping 3 people change their lives every month, right? We're just going to say that. But yet your action steps didn't align with that. Say every other Monday was the only time that you reached out and connected to people. Do you think it's fair for you to be I failed, I'm not successful? Well, no, because you didn't actually put in the action steps to be successful. So you have to make sure that what your definition of success is, that you're also aligning your action steps every day. And like Cindy said, it doesn't matter if you guys do your power hour every day. I don't even want you guys inviting every single day. But please, for the sake of yourself, read your damn personal development every single day. I don't care. Like she said, I don't care how Nick gets it in. I don't care how you guys get it in. Audio, visual, reading, someone singing it in your ear. I don't care. But get your PD in every single day, because I guarantee you, every time you guys go to somebody and the first thing you say is, I'm failing, or I suck, or life sucks, or this, and this, and someone goes, are you reading PD? Bet you're going to say no. Because every time someone comes to me and they're whining or they're sad or nothing's working for them, that's the first thing I ask. What are you reading for PD? Oh, well, here's an excuse why I'm not reading anything. I don't have time. Listen to it in your car instead of jaw roll. Did I really just say jaw roll?
Yeah, you did.
Or whoever you listen to. Taylor Swift.
That was what you picked, was Ja Rule.
Ja Rule. I was gonna say Jay-Z, but Ja Rule came out. I don't even know what song he sings. Is he the song guy? Oh, that's Cisco.
Knowing you, it's totally the song guy.
What is that supposed to mean?
Songs?
Anyways, thank you guys all for hopping on tonight. I really hope you guys got a lot out of this, and it will help you shoot forward and stay consistent and keep your blinders on and be flexible, and make sure that you are focusing on what your definition of success is. Because what Cindy's definition is not yours. What Ashley's is, what Alexis's is, Jackie's, mine, we don't have the same definition of success. And we're okay with that, right? We don't all have the same reason why we became a Beachbody coach. We don't all have the same health and fitness goals. So you have to understand, that's why it's so important to keep your blinders on, because you cannot compare you where you are right now with anybody else at all, in their business, on their journey, anywhere. It takes work, it takes consistency, and it takes heart.
And connection too. I just want to say, because I was telling Vicki, I've had kind of this negative, I was just not feeling good. It wasn't a negative mindset, but this past month, I was just not feeling right. I wasn't feeling like myself, and just feeling a little, saying a lot of words the word defeated, things like that, which I don't really say that word. And so, I was saying things like that. I knew something was wrong. And I realized, because we've had all kinds of crazy stuff in our house, with sick kids and birthdays and a car issue and having to buy a new car and all this stuff, I wasn't on the team call live for a month, right? And now I still listen to the recordings, right? But for me, that's just not the same thing. I need that that instant, you know, oh, Vicki said something that I relate to. Let me interrupt her. I mean, let's be honest, that's what I do, right? So, no, but that's like, or let me type in the box. I want to be a part of the box because I got that FOMO, right? That's how I work. I know how I work. So to me, I now know to be successful or to feel good, that's like one of my feel good things, just like PD. Like I recognize that. I recognize that that was the thing that I wasn't doing that I had been doing. And so for me, I missed that connection and I really felt it and like in a big way. And so it was a little crazy to actually realize that. And then we start talking about the team call and me talking about this. And I was like, oh, I was like so excited again. I was just like all fired up, right? You know, and excited. So, so staying connected in whatever your way, like maybe it isn't live calls, maybe it's whatever it is for you, right? So, yeah,
I love it. Awesome. Yes. And Cindy, did you share the book?
No.
You're gonna post on the team page. I just wanted to let the people know that are watching the recording before I end the recording super awkwardly.
Yeah.
Are you looking for it now? Okay. Cindy will watch it or post it in the team page. Thank you for watching the recording. See you.